Right. Yeah. So, there we go. We are now live. Right. Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter, and hopefully, everything is actually working today. Now, as you can see, there has indeed been some changes since I last did a stream. I'm really hoping that everything is coming through. But there has been some changes since I last did a stream. Yes, I am indeed in a different position. The walls are now pink because this isn't going to be so much my office in the next couple of months as much as it will be my daughter's bedroom. So, yeah. Anyway, right, yes, so it's been a long time. It is a pleasure to see you all. My ears are sweating because I'm wearing this headset. My laptop is blaring away with the fans because it is so hot in here. But we shall crack on and see what happens. And we'll see what goes wrong today. Now, I do have a supply of water here and water here. I've got a couple of topics to talk about. And I have a lot of games to shout out. So, we shall see what... Like I said, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, the room at the moment is a bit of a state. So you can probably see... Oh, there we go. I've still got steps behind us. There are still bags and stuff all over the place because the room is still being decorated. I have furniture to put up that I was supposed to be doing tonight, but I haven't. I'll get wrong for that later on. But, you know, that's what tomorrow and the rest of the week and the weekend's for. So, yes. Yes, it's definitely not vodka. Right. So, first off, hello there, Richie. Thank you very much for dropping in. Good evening there, Ben. Thank you very much for coming to see us, Paul. Ghost, good evening there, good sir. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope that you are doing well. I am doing reasonably okay for now. Had a bit of a bad day, but, you know, I've had some food. I've had some water. And, yes, we're okay. Ben, I'm not even using one of my own mugs. I've literally just put them up for sale. I haven't even had a chance for to order one myself yet. And plus, it's not payday. I'll have to wait until payday before I can actually order one of my Moogs. So, anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the Moogs. Ben, I specifically created the Moog because you asked for them. Don't know if you can hear that or not. Anyway, but yes. The Moogs are now for sale, so before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just have a quick word from our sponsor, which is, of course, me. And yes, you can find the Moog over on Teespring. There is a link in the description down below. Unfortunately, I'm not a high enough standard over on Teespring or on YouTube yet for to have advertisements in the low bar of my videos. But yes, if you want to support my channel and you want to throw me a couple of pennies, you can head over to Teespring, where you can find the lovely Dexter's PB Lab Moog up for $8.99. Yes, there is a charge as well on top of that for delivery. However, if you're interested, you can, of course, buy either my Moogs, or you could also buy any of the other products on my Teespring store. However, just a heads up, I'm planning on dropping the prices on my t-shirts because I realised they're a bit expensive and I can't drop the prices on those. Unfortunately, I need to try and find a time when I can actually message Teespring to ask them to drop the prices on those. So, if you're interested in getting any of the products that I currently have on my Teespring, the t-shirts that I currently have on my Teespring, maybe just give it a week or so and hopefully the prices should be a bit lower if anyone is interested. But yes, there you go. Yes, so, thank you for listening to a word from our sponsors for today, and let's head on with the show. Paul, you can't wait for yours to arrive. I can't either. I genuinely want to know what these actually come out like. I really hope that they'll look good. Ben, you're ordering yours on the 28th. Good man, thank you very much for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me that people would actually buy my merchandise. I do have plans. I've said it before. I've got plans for like other things that I want to do, that I want to like create and sell for you. Stuff that isn't necessarily just my logo and is more sort of fun things that you could wear at events or things that would just look good for casual wear. But yes, I just gotta see how things go. Right. But yes. So I am not in fact using one of my Moogs. So, as I said, I've only actually got a couple of topics to talk about today. But I do have a lot of games to shout out. So I suppose I will drop straight in with that, and let's see how this goes. So first up, if you're interested in anywhere to go and play this weekend, I have games pretty much up and down the country that hopefully there is something that is relatively close to where you are. So first off, there is the 1989 Club being held at YPC this Sunday. It is £10 entry. Thank you very much to Pete Finnegan for giving us the information on that one, or giving us the knowledge of that one. Next up, there is the 10-man Hyperball at Skirmish Nottingham. I wish I could be playing that this weekend. I did experience the field a little bit on at the Superheroes vs Villains game, and it is a really nice layout. It was great fun to play on. I wish I could have spent more time on it, and I wish I could be there this weekend, but unfortunately I can't. It is £360 per team. Now, if you're lucky, there might still be slot. I think there was one slot still open if you want to get down there and go sign up and play. It is side paint only and is mechanical uncapped or semi-electro capped at 5.5 balls per second. There will be GI, Vulcan and Tomahawk paint on offer. The field was in fact designed by Nicky T, and as I said, it is side paint only. So thank you very much to Nikki Ablett for the information on that one. Next up, there is Combat Zone Lincoln. This is just a walk-on. That's this coming Sunday. It is £20, bring your own paint, £45 with a box of GI Custom, £50 with GI 3-star, £55 with Empire Evil. Lunch is included in the price. It is a light lunch. It's just a burger or a hot dog, something along those lines. If you're interested in attending that one, you must call and confirm your attendance in advance. Thank you very much, Jack Hungerford, for the information on that. Next up, there is Warped Genesis Chapter 3 Plague. It's coming Sunday. It is £30 entry. Paint is £30. Kit rental is an extra £10 if you need it. And Warp members get £10 off entry, which I think is a pretty good incentive to get yourself along there. That one was suggested by Dan Spanners Phillips, so thank you very much. Next up, there is Paintball South have a walk-on this coming Sunday. In fact, everything is this Sunday, so I'm gonna drop the this Sunday. Yes, so Paintball South walk-on, £20 bring your own paint, £45 with a case of side paint, or £50 with a case of intermediate. £35 with half a case of intermediate, which is of course ideal for the Magfed players. Lunch is included in entry. Games start at 10 AM and rental kit is available as well for that one. Next up, there is Mad Mags at Holmbush. Sorry, that was Ant Perry that gave us the shout out for Paintball South. Next up is Mad Mags at Holmbush. That is £15 prepaid if you book before you go, or £30 on the day, and that was Adam Harwood that gave us the information on that one. Thank you very much, Adam. Next up, there is Old School versus New School being held at Campaign. That was Oliver Fulbrook that gave us the information on this one. It is £20 if you are buying paint on the day, and your ticket is pre-ordered, I believe. It is £25 if you are bringing your own paint, and that is a pre-order ticket. It's £30 if you're just buying a ticket on the day. Paint is available from £27 from Campaign themselves, and the cap is 5.5 balls per second capped electro, and though electro markers are welcome at this event. Next up, there is Warzone Paintball Whizbeck, £50 with paint, £25 bring your own. Extra paint is £30 and premium grade of paint is an extra is £35. Thank you very much, Andy Ward, for the shout out for that one. We have Combat Thetford this coming Sunday. The only information I have on it is that there is a walk on Combat Thetford. It's 9 AM and Sunday. So thank you, Tony Racket Stringin, for that one. And finally, there is Red Alert Paintball have a Magfed walk on. I believe this is a tester session. It is £15, including 500 balls or 20 first rate rounds. To be honest, I think that is a pretty good deal as it is. Lunch is included. Limited hoppers are permitted, so that's like 50 on hoppers, tack caps, things like that. I believe 50 on hoppers are actually available in a limited number to buy on site on the day. The site is capped at 280 feet per second. Bounces count. Barrel tags and knife kills also count. It's not very often that you actually see that mentioned in a walk-on or sort of anything like that rules, but most sites do accept it. If you are interested, if you are planning on using a knife, for example, the knives, of course, have got to be rubber and must bend at 90 degrees. There is 43 cal, 68 cal, 50 cal, and first rate rounds are available, as well as pyro is also available on site. So there you go then. That is all of the games that I've got to give a shout out to today. And finally, that the Red Alert Paintball shout out came from Barney Beecham Smith. So thank you very much. Beachy Smith, sorry. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for the information on all those. And now we can move on to the topics. But first, I'll have a look in the comments section and see what people are saying. Oh, actually, that was it. I can't remember if I actually mentioned it or not, but the YPC walk-on is actually, it's a 1989 club walk-on. I believe that the normal sort of, the regular walk-on has now been knocked on the head, and they are just planning on doing the 1989 club moving forward. Things may change, and if I'm made aware of anything in the future, I will, of course, let you know about that when I hear about it. So, let's just have a quick look here. Richie, where's the purple and lanky one? Well, Albert is actually in the comments section right now, and if he is interested in dropping in, the Discord channel for what on air channel is actually open. As for Colin, I have no idea, and the Chandy Man, I believe, is still on holiday and not due to be back until next week. So, Chandy Man being on holiday is really putting a spanner in the works for trying to get another Dungeons and Dragons session set up. Ben Rex, what do I think about the Planet Eclipse CF20 mags? That's the constant feed mags, isn't it? As always, Planet Eclipse is coming out with stuff that is brilliant. I've said it before, and I will no doubt say it again. I'm a little bit of a Planet Eclipse fanboy. I'm not a huge fanboy of them. I like Planet Eclipse stuff, and I won't defend them if I think that they're doing something wrong. I won't bullshit yous. But I do like Planet Eclipse stuff. You know, the EMEC is a fantastic piece of kit. Every piece of Planet Eclipse gear that I've ever had has just worked. I know stuff can break, but Planet Eclipse, they're even good with that. If something breaks, Planet Eclipse fix it for you. And yeah, okay, if it's something older, you know, if they're not actually working on it anymore, then there might be issues there. But with newer stuff, Planet Eclipse are fantastic at sorting stuff out. But anyway, I'm driveling on. Because I haven't used them, I can't give a full sort of opinion on the the CF20 mags. But if they work, which Planet Eclipse don't release stuff generally unless it works. If they work, fantastic. That's going to make a lot of Magfed players happy. It's just something that I think is going to be great for them. I want to see these being used. You know, there's a lot of players that are using things like dams, because I'm pretty sure that the CF20 mag will work with the die dam, but obviously they're going to work with the MG100. Now, that is going to make a lot of Magfed players happy. I mean, the MG100 is making Magfed players very happy as is. Now, yes, I know that there is a lot of Magfed players are saying that the MG100 doesn't look realistic, but the fact it performs as well as it does is, I think, what is encouraging people to use it. Now, you can, of course, modify it. You can make it look a bit more tactical if that's what you want. But it works. And ultimately, that's what we all want when we're players, and we want gear that actually works. Now, yes, there is some of that melee things that we like to have a bit of tinker with, but ultimately, you want a marker that you can take out your kit bag and you can go and shoot. Now, if the mags work as well with the marker as the marker works with paintballs, it's going to be brilliant for paintball. It's really going to make people happy. I hope that in amongst all that incoherent rambling, I somehow answered your question. Good evening there, Craig. Thank you very much for dropping in. Also, Albert. Hello. Artwood. Hello there, Artwood. It's a pleasure to see you in one of my streams. Yes, Artwood saying their constant feed mags are so good. Well, that's it. Not having to worry about firing 10 shots off and then having to take the mag out, stick it back in, and start going again. Stuff like that is it's good. I mean, the only time I've really had to worry about that was for a while. Some of you know, some of you don't know. For a while, I ran a TPX rig. I ran a Kimbo. I ran individuals. I ran one as a carbine in a Sarge kit. Using those felt great, but when I tried, I think it was the Zeta mags, and having to, I think there were 10 shots on either side, and you fire 10 shots off, and you know that unless you're counting shots, which I've never been good at counting shots, unless you're counting shots, you fire your 10 shots off, you don't even realise you fire those 10 off, or maybe you get like 7 and you lose count, and you set off running because there's a guy, you can see a guy that's prime there for to run up on and shoot him out. You know you're going to get the kill. So you start running, you fire off a couple of shots, you miss a couple of times, you get to the point, or you maybe see there's more than one person behind a bunker, and you want to make sure you get them. So you start firing off a couple of shots, and you've run dry. Now I know with I'm pretty sure with the MG100, it actually will not dry fire. You know, it's kind of like with a real firearm where the bolt locks back once they are, once you're out of ammo. Now that's okay, because that way you know that you are out of ammo. But with something like the TPX or I believe the Dam, although the Dam does have eyes, so it probably doesn't do it. But with a lot of mechanical Mark-V markers, they'll just carry on firing, even though they've got nothing in the breech. A lot of mechanical markers will do that in general. Pretty much they all will. Because there's nothing there to say, hang on, stop firing. They just will try and continue to work. So, having those continuous 20 balls in a marker that then also lets you know once you're out of paint, as I said, it's going to be so good for a lot of Mark-V players. That is going to be something that's going to make a lot of people really happy. And I want to see MG100s at games, because, like I said, Eclipse gear just works. It just works. And people aren't going to have to worry about working on gear so much. With Planet Eclipse gear, you stick it in your kit bag, you pull it out when you need it. You pull it out when you need it, and you just use it. Yeah. Ghost. The YPC walk-ons might get boring because we have to use 50-round hoppers. Well, Ghost, I don't think that'll be the case. See, if you're all playing on a level footing, and you're playing like the 1989 club, you're going to have Mark-V players there, you're going to have pump players there, you'll have players using tac caps. Now, you'll have players that are going to be using their tournament guns, and they're going to be using 50-round hoppers. When you reduce the amount of paint in the air, I do believe that, when it's en masse, that is, when you start reducing the amount of paint in the air, people do make bigger moves, because when there's not as much paint in there, you feel like you're emboldened, that you can actually make a bigger dash. And especially if you're carrying less paint. I know some sites, I'm not too sure if YPC do it, but I know that some sites, when you actually do these limited games like the 1989 club, or like what happens in District 23 when hopper players join in with Mark-V players, you get told, right, you can only carry so much paint on the field. So even though you might have a slightly bigger hopper and you can carry maybe a full pod extra, you've then got to still load up, and you know that you have to make your shots count a bit more because you're not carrying as much paint on you. You've been limited to how much you can carry on with you. It makes things a little bit more fun. Richie, yes, I do think I'm not a massive fanboy of Eclipse, but I definitely do like that stuff, and I am biased on that. Pretty much in fact, apart from a couple of broken guns that I've bought, all the Planet Eclipse gear that I've used has just worked. I mean, I got my again, for some of you know, I bought a Fugly E-Tech 3 a few years ago now, because I wanted a reasonably, a sort of a gun that I could use in a tournament. Bought a Fugly E-Tech for, I think it was £25, including a gun bag. Sold the gun bag for a tenner. I got an E-Tech 3 for 15 quid. It was just that it was really, really ugly and didn't work properly. Took it apart, found out that the cup seal was broken. Richie Wong, Mr. Wong there, replaced it for us. Replaced the eyes on it, I believe, as well, and it's worked fine ever since. I once bought, I think it was Ego 8 that I've got as part of a bulk. I bought as part of a bulk buy of gear. That wasn't working. So that one, I've got no idea what was wrong there. That'll be something I have. It was a long time ago. I just sold that on as spares or repair. But every time I've bought an Eclipse marker to actually use, they're just brilliant. Now, yes, the original Egos and stuff were notorious for being noisy, but when I was using tournament guns for tournaments, I didn't care if I was being noisy because I was only focused on actually shooting people, and I didn't really care about when I was playing Snake, which was before I got a belly on us. I didn't care if my marker was being noisy because by the time I got into a position where I was going to be shooting somebody, it didn't matter if they heard us, as I was going to shoot them before they heard us. Anyway, right. Right. Albert, you got your locality test tomorrow, so got your head in a book. No worries, Albert. Well, if you do decide you want to drop on for a little while, you know where the Discord server is. But I hope you do well on your test. The dog is staring at us. What? You wanna go on stream? I could move the camera now, but I don't want to because the room's a mess. Come here. Right, he's not gonna move. See, dog. The dog is real. Anywho, right, back to this. And yes, Albert, as Richie Wong says there, I hope that you get the party wagon. Richie, when is World Cup? When is World Cup so we can see if we get any new releases? I have no idea. I'm very badly organised. I'm very bad at keeping track of things that actually happen in the world. Yeah. Artwood, you start your next video shooting off an almost whole 20-round mag. Felt very tasty. I bet it did. I bet being able to actually spray some paint down range and not have to go turn around back in and start again. I bet that felt good. And because obviously when it's there is a certain satisfaction to changing mags, but changing mags too much doesn't feel great either. It's a case of trying to find that happy medium between the two. But yes, Artwood, can you give away any rough idea on how long before the next video? Ghost, the one thing that annoys you is that some people at the 1989 club bitch about being bunkered. Well, Ghost, I would say there is some people that have chosen to play things like the 1989 club or in some Magfair players, and it's a very small minority. I'm not saying it's all, But there is some Magpie players, some players that have chose to play limited paint style things. They kind of want to sort of, I think they've got some of them seem to have this idea of like honorability in their minds of you don't run somebody down. You know, you kind of have your battle lines and you take your shots from across field, and it's, you know, tally ho, bloody good job, bloody good shot there, chap. I think some players seem to have that kind of mentality in place. They don't like players that move around too much. They don't like players that can snap shoot. They don't like players that are going to run you down. The thing is, though, you're never going to please everyone. Now, you've just got to play however you make whatever makes you happy, whatever play style that you know makes you happy, what you want to do. Play like that, as long as you're not hurting other people and you're not like overshooting people. You know, you're not abusing them. It shouldn't matter that much if you choose to do stuff like that. But yeah, have fun how you want to have fun. Yes, Richie, the fugly, which isn't actually so fugly anymore. The fugly, thanks to Chan, actually looks pretty good now. It actually looks almost like it potentially could have coming off the factory floor. Yes, the body is still a bit scuffed, but I don't know what Chan used to paint the plastic parts, but yeah, the plastic parts on it actually look pretty good now. I am still missing one of the jewels off of it though, but that's not important. Ben, there goes the PG rating. Did I swear? You had a GI Joker eagle. I'm not familiar with that one, Ghost. Richie Wong, he didn't see any dog. Yes, and his paw says stunt dog. It's one that's hiding from the neighbours. Ghost, but he only had an Eagle 11 Joker for 3 months before he unfortunately had to give it back to the owner. It happens, man. 6th to the 10th of November for World Cup. Thank you very much, Richie. So that's one to stick in your diaries, ladies and gentlemen. 6th to the 10th of November is World Cup. So as happens every year, there is always, I might not know when it is, but I know that things get released at the World Cup, because I think it's obviously the sort of the biggest event in the world, and there's always stuff that gets released. And Artwood Friday, fantastic. I will keep an eye out. I might have to use Friday to catch up on everything because I am massively behind on YouTube content. So that is why this week, and pretty much for the past few weeks, there hasn't been any video shoutouts. Although I have just watched Nicky T's video on the Nam Wrecking Crew, which fantastic video. However, I didn't see myself in it once, and I am very, very disappointed at that. I'm not on the Nam Wrecking Crew, but I was still at that event. Come on. So yeah, it's a great video showcasing the Nam Wrecking Crew and the history, a little bit of the history around the team as well. And it's seeing stuff that is, you know, seeing what they're talking about in that video is one of the reasons why I loved only taking part in the GCC. Seeing guys come back to paintball that, I think there was one of the guys in the video, I'm very sorry, I can't remember what your name was, but, you know, saying that he hadn't played paintball in about 20 years and came back to go and play with the team that he played with way back when. But yeah, it was great. Ghost. The only time you've ever shot someone was when a rental started to shoot me, and when I was playing, shoot you when you were playing a game, and I said to the ref, tell them to stop. Right. Well, yeah, I suppose that could be overshooting. It would be overshooting, but it's, I don't even know if it would be classed as spinning on someone. If they've been shooting you and they overshot you and then you kind of turn around and shot them back, then it's, you know, ideally nobody should ever be overshooting anybody, but it does happen. It is something that happens. best not to though. And did I watch your playlist? I'm not sure. I did watch a music playlist that you had on your channel a while back, but I don't think I've watched anything else since. So I'll try and catch up on that at another point, mate. Anyway, right. So moving on. I was asked, which one should I do first? Yeah. Dan Phillips, are you currently in the chat? If you are, then we shall move on with your thing. If not, then I'll give you a little while longer. And I don't know why I'm saying this, because if he's not there, he's not going to hear it. But yeah, if you're not in the chat at the minute, we shall move on with the other thing from the Harrogate Mafia first. I'll give you a minute there just to see if you are actually about, because obviously I realise that there is a bit of a delay on this. Ah, yes. So, how is everyone doing today? While we're waiting to see if we get a response here, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing fine. I am reasonably fine. I hope that the stream is actually coming through okay. I've just had a quick look on, and it does seem that everything is coming through fine and dandy. So yeah. I just heard a voice. I just heard a click there. Aha! You are indeed. But you're on the team's profile. No problem. Right. The Chandy Man is on. Hello there.
Hello.
Is this the Chandy Man live from Greece?
What?
Are you still on holiday?
In Greece.
Yes. With terrible internet, so you're breaking up a little bit.
I've got Wi-Fi.
Fantastical. Right then. So,
I cannot hear you, like.
You can't hear us?
No, you keep dropping in and out.
Right, I'll tell you what. So since you're here, I'll just try. I will leave and then come back. Disconnect and reconnect. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fantastical. Right. Hear me now. Right. Solden Chan. I was just about to start. I was sent a product by Dan. That's Dan Spanos Phillips.
Sorry, Dan.
Dan Spanos Phillips.
Spanner.
Yes, Spanos.
Oh, spanners.
Yes.
As in, like, spanning a gap.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, Dan has recently started a small business stuff called PB Hydro. You can find it if you are interested at PB Hydro Customs on Facebook. And Dan messaged us, asked if I would be willing to accept a sample of a product and show it off on stream and tell you guys what my thoughts are of it. So, full disclosure, I'm not being paid for this. He just sent us something, asked us to have a look at it, and well, he asked us to have a look at something. I said yes, and he sent us it. Now, Dan and everyone else, I have to confess, I'm not a huge fan of hydro dipping. Chan, he says, he's a mechanic and it's a nickname he picked up years ago. That's stuck. Right. So.
Right. I was going to say it's not a name I've heard of before.
Yeah. Right. So, as I was saying, I've never particularly liked hydro dipping because that's what Dan is doing. That's the product that he sent me to have a look at. I had a bad experience with a hydro dip marker years ago, and it completely put me off hydro dipping. But that was, I believe, more the person who dipped the marker's fault than the actual dip on the marker itself. For anyone that might be interested, basically, I bought an autococker that had been hydro dipped, but the person who dipped it hadn't dismantled it completely and had hydro dipped it with some of the internals still inside of it, which I was able to clean everything up and get it all running, but it wasn't easy and it wasn't nice. And what are you doing? Get out from under there, come on. Come on, get out. Go on, get out there. Go on, good boy. So anyway, so
Your
Dan
lass
said,
under the bench.
no, the dog. I wonder
Dog?
if he'll let us. If he will he won't he? Come on, he's a big dog. He's not easy to pick up. Come on, no, he's away. Right. So as I was saying, Dan sent us this product and asked us to have a look at it. Now it is a speed shape, so it's not actually a paintball product itself. It is a sample product, I believe, that is used for testing stuff out on, and it looks really nice. So that is the product that was sent to us. So you can see there's nothing on the inside. It's just a little sample, sort of like a. I'm trying to think what they're called. It's like almost like the spittle trays that you get when you're if you're in hospital and you have to be sick or something. But hey, that's what it looks like. But the hydro dipping on that lost it there is very nice. It's perfectly covered. There's no bubbles or anything like that in it. It's tidy. It is really tidy, and I did ask Dan a few questions on this because, to be perfectly honest, I know next to nothing about hydro dipping apart from you put a layer of film on some water and then you dip something into it. That's all I know. So yeah, I asked Dan a few questions, so I'll try and get these in the right order. But this is what I asked, and this is the responses that he gave us. So, number one, what sort of pricing can customers expect? Because ultimately, that's one of the things that we all want to know. So, what sort of pricing can customers expect? So, right, for paintball equipment, prices start from £45, with additional items at £20 each, but depending on the number of items, that is then reduced to £40 and £15 respectively. So, for example, EMAC marker body and a hopper would be £65. Or for an EMAC, hopper and barrel, it would be £70. All must use the same film though to qualify and include return recorded delivery. That's a nice little touch there. The fact that there's actually recorded delivery put on there, because you've got to appreciate Dan might be handling expensive pieces of equipment here, and he wants to make sure that you receive them, and obviously you want to make sure that he receives them, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think that's fantastic there. So next up, and also you've got to realise, that's actually pretty good. I mean, it depends on what you're wanting dipped. If you're wanting a hopper or something like that dipped, you can't anodize a hopper, and your only other option is things like stickers, which stickers, they're gonna flake off relatively easy. You've got things like you could spray paint, but spray painting is gonna be, unless you're good at it, or you can pay somebody to do it for you. You could maybe do something nice with airbrushing, but that's gonna probably cost you a lot of money. Other than that, it's gonna be flat colours, but instead you can get sort of nice designs. So next question I asked him was, how would you expect dip to hold up compared to anodizing? So Dan's response was, hydro dip is as tough as the paint on your car, so won't just easily scratch off. Compared to ano though, it should be a close call. In all honesty, anodizing would probably take slightly more of a beating, but he's not had a comparison to say 100% either way. And that, he says, it has given him an idea. So I'm assuming that there might actually be a test comparison in the works. I will also say that, as I believe, and this might actually be mentioned later on, that this isn't just dipped and then sent out as it is. These are in fact actually lacquered as well, so that does give you added protection as well. Next up, there is, I asked, how would the hydro dipping process affect the marker parts, and is dipping a reversible procedure? Right, so his response, dipping will have minimal effect on marker parts. Key areas can be masked off though if needs be, which for those that may not know, that is similar to what is done with anodizing if you're wanting certain different patterns done, things like that. Although I think it's generally Chan will know this a bit better. When it comes to anodizing, it can be like, I've heard of people using Tipex or silicon and things like that just for the cover over at certain areas.
It is a special gel. If you're talking about to mask anodizing, for doing specific patterns or leaving stuff in different colors, what have you. As for threads, it's usually like a wax. Aye.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for that, Chan. So getting back to his response for question number 3, although for new markers, he spoke with a Planet Eclipse tech the other day, and the same as Anno, it would make certain areas of warranty a grey area. That's totally understandable. If you're taking a new product that is still under warranty and you start opening it up, I wouldn't say it's so much the anodizing process, although that will obviously affect warranty and things. The simple act of opening certain markers up beyond what would be considered to be standard maintenance can open you up to issues of voiding your warranty. So regardless of anodizing or dipping, that is going to be the same sort of thing that's going to affect either there. Dip can be reversed, although metal parts would need to be anodized again, or I suppose re-dipped. And plastic parts could only ever be painted back to their original colour. Well, that sounds about right. I mean, for the most part, with plastic parts, you're probably not gonna, if you dip them, they're probably gonna stay dipped. And question number 4 asked was, is there a limit to the number of times parts can be dipped? Well, again, for those that might not be aware, what's it called? Anodizing, that's it. Anodizing, there is a limit to the number of times that something can be anodized. When you anodize something, it basically removes a layer of the metal, resulting in that oil obviously being less metal. So when the anodizing is reapplied, your product is slightly smaller every time it gets anodized, or I suppose like in some instances slightly bigger. But so yes, that's something that you need to be aware of if you're wanting to get something anodized. If it's, say for example, really small parts or parts that, just for let's say really small parts, if you try and get them anodized multiple times, take the mic out of the cupboard. I'm really quiet. I shouldn't be. I'll see what I can do, Ben. Dave, I think you're having the same problem there, aren't you? I'll tell you what, I'll turn that up. That should hopefully make a difference for you. I hope I haven't turned that up too much. So yes, it is something that you need to be aware of. If you're anodizing parts, then the more times you anodize it, the more metal is going to get eaten away. But in the case of hydro dipping, there is no limit to the number of times that something can be hydro dipped. Any part can be flattened down and re-dipped as many times as you want.
What do you mean by flattened down?
Dan is actually in the comments at the moment, so hopefully he can actually answer that. Just in case he didn't happen to hear that, Dan, what do you actually mean by flattened down? And as a final note, he did also mention that the cost of the dip may be worth pointing out. The average cost of a film with delivery is £15, and even more if it's from the States. Activator, and then on top of that, Dan has to account for activator, primer, base coats, lacquers, and all of that sort of stuff. And then obviously there's also his time to account for as well on doing the jobs as well. So yeah, that's, even then I still think that that hydro dipping it's a great option if you're looking for something that is maybe a bit cheaper and a little bit faster to get done. Anodizing, depending on who you are getting it done with, can be very, very, very expensive. Now I would say that you've probably got a lot more potential for customization when it comes to anodizing. But you can get some really nice sort of finishes and really nice sort of custom looks by just going for a hydro dip. So yeah, I would recommend that. Now, the only thing that I can try scratching it and stuff, and unless I start getting keys out and knives and stuff like that, this isn't something that's going to scratch off. Not that anodizing would, yeah. But I don't think it's really fair for us to try flexing this unless... Dan, are you prepared for us to try flexing this? Because I mean, in a paintball product that gets hydro dip isn't really going to be something that's going to flex. Possibly a mask, but I don't know. Can your product hold up to being flexed as well?
Shoot it.
Well, I think if I was going to do that with a product, it would have to be something sturdy. Yes, if it was a mask that had been hydro dipped, then I would say it would have to be shot at to prove how good it is. But that I don't think the shape itself. I forget what it's called.
I know the shape won't hold up,
Yeah,
but obviously if it's on a hopper or well, if it's on anything that's going to get shot.
Right, he's responded to the flattened down thing. By flattened down, he means use 800, then 1200, and maybe a 1500 grit.
He means sand it down.
Yeah. Back down to the primer.
So essentially, it's actually still going to get bigger.
Well, if he's only taking it down to the primer, not necessarily. If it was down to
but it's not going to be. It's not going to be flattened down to exactly as it was before.
No, that's true. But if he's only taking it down to the primer, then it wouldn't necessarily. But if it's going down to bare metal, then yes, I would totally agree.
Yeah, so if it's only sanded down to the primer, and then you put another coat of stuff on, presumably you're gonna have to do another coat of primer to put the next coat on. So every time you do it, it's gonna get thicker.
Yeah, that's it. It would potentially get thicker. When I was talking about the anodizing, obviously I was meaning like if you anodize a barrel, the internal bore is going to get bigger, not that it would layer up. So yes, potentially your product with hydro dipping could potentially get bigger. Will get bigger the more times that it is hydro dipped. Whereas with anodizing, your product is, I suppose, going to get smaller the more times you layer it, or the more times that you hydro dip it.
Another one just in my head while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Does it stain?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anodizing doesn't stain, but if you get a nice, I forget which paint we were shooting, but it was horrible. Yes. It stuck to everything.
Yeah. For example, the stuff that they were shooting at the ICC.
Yes. Was it Hellfire?
I'm not sure if it was Hellfire, what it was, but it was pink stuff that apparently just stained anything it touched. What is the likelihood of hydro dipping being stained by being shot with with that pink paint that was being shot at the ICC, Dan?
Because I know some of the hydro dipped rotors that come from factory.
Yeah.
Some of those ones, especially the lighter colours, were susceptible to stain.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the case with any sort of lighter product as is. I mean, years ago, I know this is probably going back to the early 2010s. Anyway, like around about 2010, sometime around about there, 2009, 2010, 2011, whenever it was that I was playing tournaments. There's like photos of us on Facebook wearing I4s. They had a small pink stain around about the bridge of the nose, or just under one of the eye sockets, or just under one of the eyes, where that had been stained by pink fill, and I think they were like the tan I4s. I'll say it's like camouflage. It's to affect parts, Dan. In Dave Brute Reed's just confirmed it was Hellfire at the GCC. Well, Ghost, if you get in touch with Dan over at PB Hydro Customs, he might be able to do a hydro dip of a Joker print. Might be able to sort you out with something there. Right. He says, no, his dips are lacquered, and as above, his gear and two of our players' gear has been covered in paint and all been shot a lot of times, stuffed in ditches, etc., and it's all still spot on. So there you go, Chan. Now, I wouldn't really want to, well, I'm more than happy to give Dan a shout out for his page, as I said, PB Hydro Customs on Facebook. Now, if I'm interested at some point, I might go down the route of getting something hydro dipped. Like I said, I do think it is a good and cheap alternative to getting something anodized. It's also something that you can get done on parts that you wouldn't necessarily be able to anodize, stuff like hoppers and things like that. Well, you can't anodize a hopper, obviously. Unless Chan, can you mill as a metal rotor? Just a solid aluminium rotor.
I want one now.
Yeah, get it. Now that we're talking about it, get that anodized. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So without actually having something hydro dipped in, like, of my own playing gear and using that day in day out, I wouldn't want to give a full endorsement, because unless I've actually used something myself, I don't feel like I can give a 100% yes, definitely go out and buy this. But I do know that there is a lot of players that use hydro dip gear. There is players that there's people that have used the stuff that Dan is Dan's products, and that are happy with it. And yeah, give it a go. He says deflects it, right? Well, so and you can see that these do bend as is, but I don't want to bend it too far in case I actually break the shape, because I kind of want to just pin it up somewhere. Might like take it to work and use it for storing pens in or something, but bit of web call, but that is. Man, it's starting actually. I think it's starting to affect the shape itself there anyway, but yeah. I can't see anything. I can't see any faults in the dip there. I'll put that up in front of the cam, so I realise that that's a little bit blurry there. I'll try and ease that in somewhere. Yeah, that's holding up to being flexed very, very well. There's no cracking on the dip. There's no blemishes, no marks. Like I said, I realised that the cam's not that great quality when I come right up close to it there. But I really don't think that my webcam's doing this justice. But yeah, I would be happy to have that on some of my gear. Like, I would be interested in seeing how it would hold up on a Flex, the JT Pro Flex.
I don't think it would adhere to rubber.
Yeah.
The primer wouldn't adhere, so therefore
maybe a Pro Shield.
The other stuff wouldn't adhere.
Maybe a Pro Shield would work. Hello, dog. Yeah, I think a Pro Shield would look pretty good, depending on what you got done on it. But yeah.
Yeah. If the only trouble with hydro dipping is complex shapes causes stretching, and especially the ones that are very like intense graphics, like the Day of the Dead ones that have got very specific imagery on, not just a pattern. Well, even some of the pattern ones, it distorts the image, especially around. See, with all the markers I've seen done on it, it stretches it and it looks distorted in the wrong places, and it's not a uniform, even finish, which makes it look cheap. which is where I know has the total upper hand on guns.
Yeah.
But on a hopper's
Nice
basically
big sort of flat
a
areas.
speed shape, which is
Yeah.
what you're holding there.
Yeah.
It's just
That's it. I
two
suppose
shells that shape.
if you try and put something around a barrel, depending on the pattern, like you said, like something like the Day of the Dead sort of thing, or well, I don't
Oh
actually know
no,
what that one's
a
called.
barrel's all right because it's a cylinder. The likes of guns with quite sort of steep changes to the geometry and slash cuts and all this sort of stuff. It's too different to get an even dip on, say, like a marker body.
Yeah.
Without using sort of a very sort of wish-wash pattern.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting something that looks rather cheap.
But yeah, I do think it is a great alternative. It's a great alternative to anodizing because, as we talked about before, I mean, yeah, you know, you're saying about how some stuff can look cheap. Well, the thing is, it is a lot cheaper than most people are going to charge you for anodizing. Again, I've just nearly like shocked my whole setup off the desk there. But yes, I do think that it's a great alternative, and I mean, I've got to say, you know, as well, thank you, Dan, for actually sending us this and thinking of me for actually have a look at your product. But yeah, for somebody that, like I said, I've never really been a huge fan of dip. I would definitely consider it as an alternative for some of my gear. But,
hoppers,
yeah.
Hoppers, yes.
Unless we go for a full aluminium hopper.
See, I really want one now.
Alright.
I wonder if I could do a full wood hopper.
How big of a thing can you put on your new machine?
Fair size.
Can you do a hopper
though? Potentially. I was more meaning just carve a hopper out of a solid block.
Yeah. But it's gonna be getting the internals into it though.
Simple enough.
That's it. You wouldn't be able to make. Well, I suppose you could. Yeah, you would have to do it. You would still have to break it up into multiple pieces, wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't be able to get the paint. You wouldn't be able to get to the inside, would you? Without.
Oh yeah, I'd still have to chop it in half.
Yeah. Damn.
Just do like just do an actual wooden version of the rotor, like the Hydrodip one that they did.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, they did do one that was just Hydrodip wood grain, didn't it? If you could find a wood grain that looked relatively similar and make a solid wood one as well. If you did that with fresh wood, it might still continue to grow as well. Anyway, right,
starts off as a 200 round, ends up as a 400.
Yeah, ends up as a Pinocchio. Right, so if anyone is actually interested in checking out Dan's work, if you are interested, drop down in the comments, into the description down below. There is a link that will take you over to his page. Alternatively, just go on Facebook and search for PB Hydro Customs, and you will find it there. And then you can message Dan, and you might be able to work something out. You might be able to get something that you really like. So, thank you again, though, Dan. It was much appreciated. Right, next up, I will have to do this on the share screen. So, Dave Brooke Reed, are you still in the chat? Not a problem, mate. Yeah, so Dave sent me this earlier on, and he's been sharing it around on Facebook. And I think it is one that I want to give a shout on the stream because it's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And I think it is something that is definitely worth mentioning. It's not a particularly nice subject to talk about or to cover. I don't know the full background about it, but it is still something that I want to give a shout out for. So I'll go over onto the share screen here. Dave shared a post with me earlier on in a PM, and that's said he's been sharing this around on Facebook, and it is for domestic abuse. Harrogate Mafia have teamed up with the Ali Remembered Foundation. Now, as I said, I don't actually know the background behind this or anything like that, other than that it is to try and help with people that have been suffering domestic violence. As it says on the poster itself, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will be victims of domestic abuse. This can range from anything from coercive control, which for those that might not know is it can be subtle things like saying you're not allowed to go out and spend time with your friends. You're not allowed to have your own phone, or I have to go through your phone and make sure you haven't been messaging people or anything like that. All the way up to obviously that's coercive control, and that can domestic abuse can then go all the way up to things like physical abuse itself. There's also things like gaslighting, which is blaming them for something, or being blamed or blaming your partner for saying that something's their fault when it's not, to make them to affect them mentally as opposed to physically. It's domestic abuse is something that nobody should have to go through. It's something that should be addressed when it's happening. It's something, as I said, something that people shouldn't have to go through. If you are a victim of domestic abuse, be aware that regardless if you're male or female, there is people that are prepared to help. There is people that you can speak to and try and get something done. Nobody should have to live in a situation where they are being abused. There is a phone number for the UK National Domestic Violence free phone helpline. I will give that out over here. It is 08020000247. If, like I said, nobody should be a victim of domestic violence. Nobody should be abused by somebody that claims to love them. Doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, child. Get help. There is people that will help you. I'll leave that on the screen for a moment while I see what Dave's got to say here. Dave says there, domestic violence affects adults and children of any age, race, religion, or gender. The Ali Remembered Foundation have a Facebook page. Go check it out. So I'll do that after the stream, but you guys go check it out as well. And share it around on your Facebook. Or share it around on your social media pages, things like that. Let people know that if there is something that isn't right, that they can speak out and try and get it stopped. They can try and make a change. So I'll move back over onto the main screen. Right. Anyway, right. So like I said, I felt that was worth giving a shout out. But yeah. Ben, did I see the video of Chan that I sent? I'm not sure, Ben. I think I may know which video that you're on about. I think Chan might know which video you're on about as well, judging by that exasperated sigh in the background. So yeah. Right, that's thrown us there a little bit. Well, I thought we're having a bit of a tender moment there, but I'll keep trying to drink from an empty glass. But yeah,
you should have left that till the end of the stream.
Well, it's a bit of a hard one to follow, because I feel like, you know, if you make any jokes or anything after that, it kind of belittles it, but also don't really want to end the stream on a sort of a low note. So, but yeah, guys, please go check it out. There is a link to the Harrogate Mafia post that they shared. I believe, there's a link to the Harrogate Mafia Facebook page where you can find their original post. You can also look up the Ali Remembered Foundation Facebook page. As I said, go share that stuff out, and as I said before, let people know that there is people out there that will listen to them. There is people that will help them. No, Gassy, you haven't missed any of those that I'm aware of. Although then again, I'm watching my OBS window and not the YouTube window. So as far as I'm aware, YouTube might be completely lagged out and might be doing nothing. I'm assuming, judging by Richie Wong's Precious, that it is the video I'm thinking of. Paul Cross says half timbered hoppers coming soon from the Chandy Man. So Chan, do you reckon you could actually scan in a rotor and mill one out of aluminium?
Well, no, because dye would put my balls in a vice.
That would only be if you're selling them. They're
Well,
not gonna do you if you're just making it for yourself, are you? Are they?
Well, no, I can just do my own design that just takes their internals, same as the Pico. Yeah.
Micro hoppers. I'm still waiting for a die rotor micro hopper. Like,
it's already been done.
I know it's been done. I want one.
All right. Oh, you mean you're waiting for one off me?
Well, I'm not going to ask you, but now that you mentioned it, yes. No, in all seriousness, it would be no good doing one for us anyway because my rotor's on its way out. So, you know. But if you're talking about making stuff, I do need a lid and a cover bit for my paint caddy. If you're in the mood of making stuff.
I need to do something for myself for the one I've got. The one I've got's a bit loose.
Yeah. I was thinking, could he put a head or something on the top of the paint caddy and like a little finger pointing on the arm or something?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Actually, no. The shape of yours is more like a jug. So
yeah.
For the spout one, do like a teapot like spout.
Yeah.
And then like
that would be brilliant. Yeah. Turn my paint caddy into a teapot. But I would have to have like oh no, I've got ideas now. That's never good. It's never good when I have ideas. Ben says nope, a slightly quiet mic was the only problem. You've heard us with my mic like this. Does this make any difference? Does it? Does it not? There's actually there's a switch on the back of my microphone that it can go in 3 positions. I don't actually know what it does. Paul, I tried to claim that the dog was real again. The dog is real. You saw him.
Oh, don't start this ogre thing again.
Don't start the ogre thing.
Sorry, goblin.
Goblin?
Dog is real.
Dog is real.
Dog real.
Dog real. Goblin dead. Ah, yes. It's way louder. Right then, in that case, let's see what happens. Turn it this way. What happens? Is this any good? Is this quieter? Is it louder? What's happening? Yeah, you'll have to tell us once you can. Once you've caught up. Gassy says, "Is the stuff stacked behind the door so Mrs. Ginge doesn't come in when I'm watching porn?" No, Gassy, that is actually just a storage cupboard. The door over there is the doorway to the top of the stairs, which obviously leads into the rest of the house. This is, as I said earlier on, this is the stuff that's all over here is because the room is still being worked on, still having stuff put away and things like that. My office is not going to be my office in about a month and a half's time, or maybe 2 months' time or something. It will be my daughter's bedroom. So, there you go.
Little sigh of his life is over.
End the stream, Colin's here. Hello there, Colin. Thank you very much for dropping in. That's not very nice. It's not very nice, Chan.
We aren't very nice.
Well, we're not very nice to each other.
Yeah, that includes Colin.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Don't want to exclude him.
No.
We wouldn't be a friend if we weren't not nice to him.
Yeah. And for those, again, that, you know, they might be able to see the top of it. Pump Fury. Pump Fury t-shirts.
You meant the top of Colin's head.
No. Looks like Gassie's after that Merlin as well.
Yeah, apparently he has dibs on it. So Colin says.
Is that
it was Gassie's Merlin to start with.
Yeah, I think I can remember that because there was that, and was it the sort of the splash anode cyborg as well, or is it it's something like that? It's an AKA something.
The other thing that he gave us.
Yeah. Chan is the wizard and not the sleeve. You're going after mount a liberation operation to recover it. Sounds that way. I don't think Chan wants to give it up.
Nah, it's mine now.
Yep. Stolen.
It's my Merlin now, Dave.
So yes, is there anything that anybody would actually like to talk about? Because we're an hour and 10 minutes into the stream, and I think we've come to a point where I've pretty much talked about everything. Gassie says he gave up the Merlin to shoot the crossover, or to shoot a crossover. Really?
Oh, disgusting. Right, that's it, Colin. He doesn't deserve to have it back if you gave it up for a crossover.
I see, that's what happens with sponsorships. Gassie, was it the talk paintball days when you had those done in the first time? When you had them at first? Because I'm sure I can remember those. Seeing you post the green and yellow splash cyborg up on Talk Paintball. I'm sure I can remember that. Although I might be wrong, and it might have just been Facebook, and I've got crossed memories. That happens a lot. Speedball. What do you want to talk about Speedball, Ghost? Is there anything in particular? And Gassie says the crossovers. Is that you want to talk about the crossovers, or is that just saying about the crossovers? Gassie on the dim television show. Yeah, actually. And Gassie says it may well have been. He can't remember. Well, that's something, you know, you got to think it probably was nearly. I don't know. Maybe it's about 8 years ago or something now when you think about it. So, yeah, time flies. Colin says if he remembers right, it was just after the Talk Paintball days when he got it off you. I think that would probably be about right. I mean, it was. Was it the? I can't remember what it was. It was some marker that you let me have a shoot of at. Was it Call of Duty or the Tipman Challenge or something, Colin? And I swear I've never shot a marker that was as smooth, and it was just. I'm not even sure what it was. Yeah, like what Colin says, it must be nearly 10 years. I think it must be about 8 years. 9 years. He joined the Warriors start of 2012, and they were 6 months into the crossover deal. So, I suppose that would be 7 years ago. So, yeah. But yeah, um, yeah.
I suppose I could drop the announcement in about what the new machine's for.
Yeah, go on, go for it, Chan.
New etching machine,
Mm-hmm.
which is dual capability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be able to. I mean, this is ideally for guns that are going to be anodized. Is to etch names and logos into markers.
Yeah.
So, like on the special edition G6Rs, where they'd have like a Texas Storm or whatever actually milled into the surface of the material, stuff like that.
Yeah.
As well as the wood grips I've been doing, they'll be able to be done with custom engraving on them.
Yeah. Nice.
As well as lasering.
Nice.
So the patterns can be lasered onto the grips rather than milled in.
That's pretty cool.
So that should, it's going to land before I get back off holiday, but as soon as I'm back, I'll be having a bit play with it.
Aye. Well, I'm very interested to see what you can do with it, because, well, you just have a habit of creating cool and interesting things, and how much can it? Is this something that will like remove things, like remove stuff as well? Is this something that like is it going to be able to cut stuff out, or is it just more for etching?
It's more for etching. It's not massively heavy duty.
Yeah.
I've got access to heavy duty stuff.
Yeah.
Elsewhere. This is just more purely because I can hook it up to the computer.
Yeah.
And put images and whatever on the surfaces, and it'll etch it in. I'm pretty sure if I get the right bit of software, it can do like 3D geological survey maps.
Yeah.
So to like map hills and valleys and stuff, it can do that.
Yeah. All right.
But obviously, not everybody's going to want to use it for that. But that skill transfers into doing 3D pictures.
Yeah.
So you can put a picture into the software and it'll give you like a sculpted 3D version of a 2D image.
That's pretty cool. And is that something that you'd be thinking about actually maybe selling or offering as a service on your Northern Custom Works site?
The etching and the lasering for the grips, and then for like gun bodies.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's like a lot of the Northern Custom Works stuff. It's going to be more aimed for the cocker market because Tawny guns, they're too much of a finished product. There's not a lot you can do with them, other than obviously re-anodizing them. But yeah, so there'll be a few new developments.
Awesome. Gassy says, Chandy Man dildo pods. Is that something that could be in the works?
Did he just say dildo pods?
Yes.
The HK, like the HK Army dildo pods?
Possibly.
Ooh, actually, wooden pods.
Oof, I think wooden pods would be too thin, they'd break too easy. I don't know.
Would you use?
I suppose, yeah, if you use something like willow, they might flex relatively well.
Oh no, I don't mean about flexing. If you use something pretty solid and then maybe stabilize it with resin.
Like a solid oak pod. Yeah. Yeah. Something to think about there, eh?
I'm now just thinking about aluminium pods. match anodized pods?
Think they'd probably break too easy. You know, like there's a fair amount of flex in a plastic pod. You know, not a huge amount, but relatively good, and they're also pretty cheap. But you roll over on an aluminium pod, are you gonna bend it out of shape?
You might dent it a little bit.
Colin's got it. Bamboo pods.
Oh yes.
Yes. Bamboo pods would totally work. I mean, come on! I've seen somebody riding a bamboo bike. So if you can ride a bamboo bike, then you can ride. You can use a bamboo pod.
Just need to find some girthy enough bamboo.
Yeah, you might just have to import it. Or go to like Edinburgh Zoo and just steal it off the pandas. Although,
no, because that's all fresh.
Yeah, that's all fresh young bamboo when it's more squishy and yeah. Thoughts.
A new line of like
bamboo products.
Eco like paintball products.
Yeah.
For all the vegan Greenpeace paintballers.
For the hardcore vegan paintballer.
I don't really think there is anything.
Well, actually, that is a good point. Is paintball vegan friendly?
It is now. It didn't used to be.
But don't they use gelatin shells on paintballs? Because if you use a gelatin shell on a paintball, then paintball isn't vegan friendly.
Is it gelatin or is it a substitute now?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Richie Wong said gelatin balls.
Oh well. Must be.
Ghost just suggested, how about a bamboo gun barrel?
No.
I reckon it could work like.
Is an outer sheath to an actual barrel? Yes.
Nah, polish the inside.
Wash and cut threads on it?
Yeah, damn right.
No.
Freak bore a length of bamboo.
Alright, okay, that might work.
Whale oil lubricant. Oh god, we've gone from saving the environment to destroying the environment. How many bottles of oil do you reckon? How many bottles of lube do you reckon you get out of a blue whale?
Fuck roads.
And there we go, ivory grips as well. Go for like some classic 1911 style ivory grips. Yes, damn right.
Tiger skin jerseys.
Yeah. Well, no, tigers aren't that rare. What's even more rare than tigers? Like
white tigers.
Nah, because
panthers?
Panthers are probably pretty rare. Let's just see.
Ivory pods.
Ooh, you'd have to kill a hell of a lot of elephants to get like a reasonably good set of ivory pods.
You just need one pod, like one massive pod.
No, you want like a whole load of pods. You know, like you'll have to kill like I'm reckoning you'd probably get like 2 or 3 pods per tusk, so you might be able to get a 6-pack out of one elephant.
Or 2 caddies out of one elephant.
Nah, well, although yeah, I suppose if you went like Viking horn style.
Elephant.
Yeah, maybe. Albert says gelatin capsule with a polyethylene glycol inner. That's Albert. You're supposed to be studying.
I'm not sure if it's
White rhino cleats.
From the leather or?
I reckon jerseys made out of tarsiers. I've just looked them up. Apparently, they're only like in South Africa or something. Those little things have like massive wide eyes, and I reckon you'd like have to like kill about 12 of them to make one jersey. Yeah, tarsiers. Tarsiers are only found in the Isles of Southeast Asia. Yep. So I reckon at least 12 or 13 per jersey. Crocodile skin pod pack. Damn right. Yep. Let's just kill all of the animals to make paintball gear. Oh. Orangutan fur jersey.
Only Dex get away with wearing that.
Oh god. Yeah. I reckon it'd be itchy.
Probably.
A chinchilla fur barrel sock. Why would you even need to take the fur off? Just strap some elastic to its legs.
I was gonna
say, god, I feel so bad.
I was gonna say, I hope you don't mean like taxidermy, and then you went there.
Taxidermy would have been better.
See, all I'm picturing
King Julian.
Like, yeah.
I like to move it, move it.
That's disgusting. No, I'm thinking more of the.
I disavow.
No, not it's the little annoying one. Where he's like,
I believe that is actually a tarsier.
Alright, oh well.
Yeah. The thing that's got like the massive eyes.
Won't even freak up one of those. Boomstick.
Oh god.
Well, you could do all the primates and then move up the scale as you want to like use it on like an apex barrel or something.
What would? Oh, no, actually, I'm not even going. Wait. Oh. Baboon bums as bounce vests and pads. Oh, Gassy says, did I see the video with the run over rabbit on Facebook today? No, I didn't, mate. As much as we're joking on, I really don't like animal cruelty. I'm saying anyone else does. Obviously, people don't, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Richie Wong says giant tortoiseshell hopper. Now, but actually, could he turn a giant tortoiseshell into a max loader?
Oh, Ninja Turtle.
Yep. Ghost suggested instead of flashbangs, use skunks.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's actually not. Now that I'm thinking of it, though, that's actually quite a good one for a Halloween sort of costume, isn't it? See if you get like a shell made up for Colin's max loader, and have Colin go to a Halloween style event as a Ninja Turtle.
Fucking massive Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that it's been mentioned, how big is a ninja? How big is a Ninja Turtle?
Well, the ones in the 90s version were only like 5 foot odd. They were tiny.
We decided to compare the heights of the early incarnations of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and compare them to Megan Fox's real life height of 5'4". Except for a freakishly tall Donatello in the current Nickelodeon series, the turtles are usually a pretty short bunch. Well, that didn't actually answer how tall they are, did it? Oh. How tall is a Ninja Turtle?
I can't believe you're Googling this.
It's not the worst thing I've Googled, to be fair. There's nowhere that actually just gives you... Ah!
Oh my god, I found...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle profiles.
I've just found a picture of like a police lineup.
Oh, you're searching images.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit shite. Apparently, Master Splinter's 4'10". To be fair, 4'10", a giant rat at 4'10". That's pretty scary. That like.
All right. Well, Colin's in luck. Obviously, the new version.
Yeah.
Donatello is fucking 7 foot tall.
Whoa. You see, in this
7 foot tall turtle.
This thing that I found, it says that basically all the turtles are 5'2", and all of them are 180 pounds. Master Splinter is 4'11". April is 5'8". Casey is 6'2", and Shredder is 6'2". But Shredder does have the weight advantage over Casey. Like Casey's only 225 pounds, and Shredder's 240. So, but then again, is that armor?
It's covered in steel.
Yeah, that's it. Is that armored or unarmored? And Krang is only 2'3".
What, the testicle thing?
Yeah, the testicle monster. Bebop and Rocksteady. Hang on, Bebop is 5'4", and Rocksteady. Rocksteady is 6'8". So there you go. Apparently, the height of a foot soldier varies. This is a paintball show. We're talking about teenage. Well, I get distracted far too easily.
Do you really think people come and listen to this show to listen about paintball?
No, to be honest, I think people come to this show to abuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know your audience.
Yep. What have we got here? Gussie says it's not cool. A kind gent moved to the side of the road, and then this then his rabbit mate hopped over and started hammering away before his mate was cold. Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Right, so not only is Gussie just sitting meeting watching Bestiality Born, it's necrophilia Bestiality Born.
Pretty much. I have seen that happen with budgies though.
And for the first time on the stream tonight, disgusting.
No, where I used to work, they had some aviaries right beside where I used to work, and it was one day we went past and one of the budgies had died, and all of the other budgies were having a whale of a time with it. Yes, they didn't seem to be all that picky. Colin, Colin says that he's not tall enough. It's all right, just stick some thick shoes on, you'll be fine.
Oh God, Colin platforms.
Albert says he thinks he had a 7-foot turtle this morning.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he had a 7-foot turtle this morning.
Why am I just picturing Albert floating above a lavvy?
Like Randy from South Park. Oh, hot, 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 hot. So Albert's the perfect height for Krang.
Well, Krang is more pink than purple.
Yeah, but it's close enough. Ben says, Ben Rex says, who would win a wrestling match, Chan or Dex? I've got the weight advantage.
Yeah, you just sit on me.
Yeah. Richie Wong, Norwegian Blue Budgie. I don't know. I don't know my budgies that well. I know we did have zebra finches escape once. And there was once a kookaburra escaped as well. Those things are really noisy. Right. So, Ghost, here's something Dex... The only reason Dex made his merch was to gain popularity. I don't think I'm gaining popularity because of my merch. But then, now that it's been mentioned... It's me! Thank you very much, Chan, for having those stickers made up for us. And the t-shirt as well. Which is... in one of my drawers somewhere. I need to get it out and wear it to work one day or something and just be like, yes, this is me. No, you see, the only reason I'm making merchandise is because, you know, because I'm such a high-flying, you know, high-end YouTuber. I think it's only right that I give something back to the community. No, it's because cocaine's expensive.
Right, and on that note, it's time for bed because it's 11:30.
Yeah. It's 11:30. I see you're actually ahead of us.
2 hours, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Colin says, Dex, he'd only have to sit on Chan. He'd only have to sit on Chan and would turn into a giant set of anal beads.
Disgusting.
Ben says, what's next game everyone is going to? Well, I believe for, yes, I believe for me and Chan, it is District 23's Halloween game, which is next weekend. What are you doing?
Have you booked?
What's that, sorry, Chan?
Have you booked?
No, I haven't, because I have no money to book.
Ah.
I will book when I get paid. But yes, so that was my plan for my next game, and I believe obviously Chan's plan as well. Was anybody else got one that they're going to? Colin says CZ Walk On this Sunday, which absolutely love Combat Zone. I think it was a fantastic site to go down and play. If anyone's in the area, I would really recommend Combat Zone. Obviously, Colin's in the area. It's his home. It's basically his home field. Yeah.
It's not long till Colin's birthday again.
I know. Can't believe it. Seems like it was just 5 minutes ago that we were actually down there celebrating his last one.
I'll be 40 soon.
Aye. I'll race you there, Colin. You know you can laugh.
I'll be last.
Yeah.
You're almost there, you.
Was that your last giving you but have given a little bit of insight there? Yeah, it won't be long before you're 30, Chan.
No, just 6 years.
It's amazing how fast it goes, mate.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Right, well. Love you, bye!
Love you, bye! And
love you, bye!
Love you, bye!
Love you, bye!
Love you, bye!
I love you!
I think on that note, I will probably end the stream here as well, guys.
Love you, bye!
Love you, bye, Chan. So, Paul says that he's going to Combat Zone as well. So yes, there's Paul and Colin are going to Combat Zone Lincoln. As I was saying, I would really recommend Combat Zone because it was a really good site. It felt really homely being there. As I've said before, it was playing Combat Zone was kind of like what it used to be like when I used to play in my local field all the time, and I haven't been up there for years. It's changed hands since I used to be up there, but there was a real community there, and you felt like that when I was at Combat Zone. It felt like a proper community. It didn't just feel like a random collection of players. People talked to each other. There was people having a laugh, people getting involved. The staff that were working there were really friendly. I would recommend that site if you're in the area. But yes, so Colin, you talk Paul into going. Well, Paul, if you've never played the site before, I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. Me, Chan, Albert, we all really enjoyed it when we went down and played. Ghost, well, if you can make it, District 23, I'll see you there, mate. Yes, Colin, when he hits 28, he'll soon end up the same size as me. Well, I think it was a bit earlier than 28 when it happened to me, but yeah, my weight kind of did just creep up on us, and now I'm finding it very difficult to lose weight. So yeah. There's Ben, there's not really any decent sites within an hour review. That's unfortunate. See, I really hope that I would love it if there was a good quality site within an hour. There should be a good quality site within an hour of everyone, and I think the only way that I want to see that change. I want to see it where there is a good site within an hour of everyone. It's something that I hope that can happen in the future, but who knows? Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But yeah. Anyway, guys. Champion Colin. We'll have to. I mean, obviously your call. But we'll definitely go out for a meal. I'm just hoping that I'll actually be able to come down for yours this time. Next time, because I'll have to see what the wife says, if I'm allowed out to play or not. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end the stream there. So it has been a pleasure to entertain you all tonight. I hope that I have done a good enough job in that, and. Yeah, I will be back on Monday. Hopefully some of the guys, like Chan, Colin, Albert, will be able to join us. And yeah, I shall see you then. Before I go, Paul says, played there before. Last time there, I lent a couple of Splatmasters to the Marshals to have a game, as they hadn't played with them before. Oh, that's nice. I am yet to get my hands on a Splatmaster. I've never actually played with a Splatmaster. I'm yet to get my hands on one, but I will end up picking one up at some point, because it's one that I want to be able to put in my kit bag and then just pull out every now and then. Well, you never know, Colin. You might just do that. Anyway, guys, so yes, I'm going to end the stream there. It has been a pleasure to entertain you all. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Bye bye. Love you. Bye. Love you, bye! Bye-bye!